friends, and thanks for joining me today inside the Mom Stuff Coffee Shop. Today, we're going to talk about an icon, Chadwick Boseman. And I'm going to give you a couple of things that you might have not known about him as I talk about the life lessons that I've learned from this American and global icon. Chadwick Boseman recently passed away August 28th. And the world was devastated. He was the star of Black Panther. He starred in movies and brought characters to life. Characters like Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, James Brown. And he even did primetime shows like Law and Order, Lincoln Heights, All My Children. He was the epitome of an all-around actor. Now, a couple of things about him that surprised me. He looked so young. And when I found out he was 43 years old, I said, wow. He recently passed away of colon cancer. And friends, let me tell you, he did not let that stop him. The reason why I wanted to come on here and do this talk about Chadwick Boseman is because of his extraordinary life and his path. Black Panther meant so much, the movie, to so many people. Brown little girls and boys all over the world had a chance to really see themselves, really see representation in action. I can remember in our town when Black Panther was to be screened. It was a private screening and there were so many people dressed up in African attire. The kids were so excited. I personally didn't attend that event because we wanted to take our children to see Black Panther ourselves. As we dressed up in our African attire, my husband and I and my daughters, and we felt so proud, so blessed, so liberated to be African American. This young man changed the culture. He changed a lot of prototypes. He changed a lot of stereotypes. He brought to life actors that we could see. We could feel their soul through his performances. He was extraordinary. So, which brings me to this. God has equipped all of us with special gifts. And sometimes we get a glimpse of those super extraordinary people who in some ways helps us all grow, helps us all recognize something on the inside of us. And Chadwick was one of those special people. The life lesson that I received from his life, he told a story of how he was cast and he spoke up about some stereotypical things about the role. And he was not invited back to the role. But he kept going. He did not let that define who he ultimately was and who he ultimately became. Next thing I learned from his life is to always realize whatever work that you're doing, it's going to affect someone's life. It can have a major impact. And I can remember some special movies, some special songs, some special plays that allowed me to dream bigger, that allowed me to believe in myself, that allowed me to see the world in a different frame. And this is who this young man was. He allowed people to see themselves, to feel important, to feel empowered, to feel bold, to feel beautiful. And the world mourns Chadwick Boseman. Another life lesson that I learned from Chadwick is operating in your passion. Friends, I have sometimes in my life struggled to step all the way into my passions. But watching this young man's life has convinced me to not only live in my passion, but explode in my passion. Operate in your passions. This is it. Because guess what? If we're operating in our passions and our true gifts from God, we will make a difference in this world. And friends, everyone came here and everyone has to leave. So while we're here, why not operate in our true gifts? I was recently watching a video on Facebook about people were actually speaking to his picture and telling his picture what it really meant to them seeing Black Panther. But little did they know he was behind the curtain. And he came out behind the curtain and some people were just full of tears. They couldn't believe that someone that had affected their lives so much was actually there with them, holding them, hugging them, and giving them inspiration in their most vulnerable moment. And that's who he was. And friends, that's who we should aim to be. Always willing to be able to help somebody see themselves, recognize their worth, recognize their beauty, recognize that they too are special. I want to say to the memory of Chadwick Boseman, he will forever be missed. He will forever be remembered, and his legacy lives on. The work that he did was not in vain. It lives forever and it inspires. It will inspire us forever. To God be the glory for his life. Rest in power, Chadwick.